A 1031 exchange, named after Section 1031 of the Internal Revenue Code, is a tax deferral strategy allowing real estate investors to defer capital gains taxes when selling one investment property and acquiring another of like kind. This means investors can reinvest the proceeds from the sale of the original property into a new property, avoiding immediate taxation on the capital gains. The primary advantage of this strategy is that it helps preserve capital for reinvestment, enabling continued growth. A 1031 exchange allows investors to defer taxes by reinvesting in like-kind properties for business or investment use. Strict timelines require identifying replacement properties within 45 days and closing within 180 days. A qualified intermediary holds the proceeds to ensure compliance. Missing deadlines or making mistakes can disqualify the exchange, triggering capital gains taxes. Proper planning is essential for successful execution and tax deferral. Benefits of the 1031 exchange. One significant benefit of the 1031 exchange is the ability to defer capital gains taxes, which allows investors to reinvest the full amount of their sales proceeds into a new property. This means they can continue to grow their portfolio without the immediate tax burden. The strategy also enables investors to upgrade their holdings, reinvesting in larger or potentially more profitable properties. 1031 exchanges also play an essential role in long-term estate planning. For example, investors can pass on properties to heirs without triggering capital gains taxes. The heirs receive a stepped-up basis, meaning they inherit the property at its current market value, which can reduce the overall tax burden when the property is eventually sold. Exploring 721 exchanges. A 721 exchange, governed by Section 721 of the Internal Revenue Code, allows investors to contribute real estate to a real estate investment trust, REIT, in exchange for operating partnership, OP, units. This is an alternative to a 1031 exchange and provides similar tax deferral benefits. Unlike the 1031 exchange, however, a 721 exchange does not require the purchase of another property. Instead, investors exchange their real estate for shares in a REIT, gaining access to a diversified portfolio of properties managed by professionals. The 721 exchange provides several advantages, including greater diversification, as REITs typically hold many properties across various locations and sectors. This reduces the risk associated with owning a single property or small group of properties. Additionally, the 721 exchange offers a passive investment model, as investors no longer have to manage properties directly. Instead, they benefit from the REIT's professional management, which handles property operations and maintenance. Key differences between 1031 and 721 exchanges. The main difference between the two exchanges lies in the ownership structure and the level of investor involvement. In a 1031 exchange, investors maintain direct ownership of the property, allowing them to manage it actively. A 721 exchange requires investors to relinquish direct control and instead own OP units in a REIT. This passive structure provides investors with access to a diversified portfolio of properties without the need to manage them personally. Another distinction is in the tax treatment. Both exchanges defer capital gains taxes, but the 721 exchange has the added benefit of being able to convert OP units into REIT shares without triggering immediate taxes. This provides more liquidity and flexibility for the investor. Which exchange fits your investment strategy? Choosing between a 1031 and a 721 exchange depends on an investor's goals. If an investor seeks active control over their real estate investments and wishes to manage properties directly, a 1031 exchange may be the better option. However, if the goal is to achieve passive income, diversification, and liquidity, a 721 exchange may be more suitable. Both strategies offer tax deferral benefits, but each appeals to different types of investors. Consulting with a tax advisor or real estate professional is crucial to determining which strategy aligns best with one's investment goals and tax situation.